News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A strike against Allegiant Air has been averted. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Thursday, April 2nd, 2015. Skies cloudy. We have 30 degrees in Missoula. And our newscast this morning, sponsored by Dig It Excavating, where they bring 30 years of excavation excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. Our top story this morning, Allegiant Air has received a court order that pilots will resume flying. A court in Las Vegas has issued a temporary restraining order against International Brotherhood of Teamsters Local 1224, which represents the Allegiant pilots. We got this news release from Allegiant Airlines just a few hours ago. Allegiant has every reason to believe that the Teamsters will honor the court's instructions and will not be able to continue with their illegal intention to strike. This order will prevent a threatened pilot strike, which would have left potentially thousands of travelers with canceled flights over the Easter holiday weekend. Based on this, all scheduled Allegiant flights are expected to operate normally. With the threat of an imminent strike over, Allegiant hopes, again, this is the company speaking, that both parties can now focus on the next federally mediated negotiating session, which is scheduled for later this month. Missoula may be trying to condemn Mountain Water Company, but testimony in court yesterday was mostly about how well or how not so well the city runs the things it already has. Engineer Gary Noon from Black & Veatch was hired to inspect the city's wastewater treatment and stormwater facilities and said they were not world-class.
How would you define a world-class facility?
Black & Veatch defines a world-class facility as, number one, a facility that's continually in compliance. Number two, facility that pays attention to day-to-day details. Number three, they learn from their mistakes. And number four, they're continually updating and evaluating and revising their standard operating procedures.
So does the city operate world-class systems?
No, sir, it's not our opinion.
Noon said the city's wastewater treatment facility was inadequate and explained why.
Its inadequate rating was several factors. We felt, number one, that there was inefficiency with their process control. We felt also that there was failure to learn from their mistakes. We felt that there was an issue regarding the attention to detail on day-to-day details. And we also felt that their standard operating procedures were either lacking or inadequate.
Another engineer, Jim Lloyd from Hydrodynamics in Helena, testified the city was lax and discussed 11 violations by the city from the Department of Environmental Quality.
They're not learning from their failures, their mistakes.
Does this show commitment?
I would think not. I would think that there is a failure of commitment from the top down.
Given this track record and the minimization of these violations and what you have described as a lax attitude towards compliance, do you think that the city would be a viable candidate to operate Mountain Water Company?
In the current capacity and management of the city of Missoula, I would say no.
The testimony from both engineers likely to hurt the city's case that says it can run Mountain Water Company better than a private firm. Veterans Affairs Secretary Bob McDonald, who was in Missoula just the other day, told a group of veterans in Billings yesterday he understands they're frustrated with access to care. He outlined his plans to reorganize the VA to help solve those problems. The Billings Gazette reports Wednesday's question and answers session with Democratic Senator John Tester drew more than 50 people, mostly local veterans. A Lake County man, Harry Lozeau, has changed his plea of guilty, for shooting his brother last summer and will now face trial. Lake County Attorney Steve Eschenbacher explains.
We had reached a plea agreement mainly based on the age that he is, which called for 40 years. He anticipated he would not be eligible for parole until about probably 12 to 15 years. The judge decided that was inadequate. He wanted to make sure he'd have 20 years with no parole.
Eschenbacher said the judge's decision led to Lozo's decision to seek a trial.
Because the judge jumped the plea agreement, he allowed the defendant to withdraw his plea, and based on the defense attorney's busy schedule, we won't be able to get him to trial until September 14th.
Lozo originally entered a guilty plea to shooting his brother Terry to death in June of last year. City and county officials, healthcare workers, and child advocacy groups gathered together on the Missoula County Courthouse lawn yesterday for the kickoff of April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. The sheriff, the chief of police, and the county attorney all addressed the crowd, but it was Dr. Bart Kleiker, yes, at the U of M School of Social Work, who provided numbers that impressed the crowd.
If we think just about the 1,400 kids who experienced abuse and neglect in Montana in 2013, they incurred a lifetime cost of over $297 million.
Kleiker said child abuse and neglect prevention measures are proven to be cost-effective.
Research has shown not only is child abuse prevention possible, but it's cost-effective. For every dollar that we invest in evidence-based home visiting programs such as the Nurse Family Partnership, we can expect anywhere between a $5 to $9 return on our investment.
The gathering was presented by the Parenting Place. Experts are already predicting that fire danger this summer will be above average. Forest Service meteorologist Mike Richmond says for many parts of the state, the high fire risk begins now.
We have had an early start to the fire season in central and eastern Montana. We've had very warm temperatures since late January through the region, and that melted the snow earlier in the lower elevations, and because they haven't greened up, that means when we do warm up and dry out, as we saw last Saturday and yesterday and today, the fire danger comes up very quickly.
Richmond says May and June are the wettest months of the year for western Montana, but it too is expected to be hit by a tough fire season eventually.
We are running below average on our snowpacks, and it has been quite a bit warmer than normal. We're expecting that to continue, the above normal temperatures all the way through the summer with near average precipitation. And with that kind of scenario unfolding, I do expect that we'll see above average fire potential in western Montana by July.
Much of the fire risk can be balanced by precipitation. Richmond says cooler, wetter weather moving across Montana this week should help to decrease the fire risk for this month. The state Senate has confirmed Justice Jim Shea to the Montana Supreme Court. Lead newspapers of Montana report Shea was confirmed 41-9 Tuesday, with all the no votes coming from Republicans. Shea's a Butte native who received his bachelor's degree and his law degree at the University of Montana. And finally, state wildlife officials say bird flu killed a captive falcon in Columbia Falls, marking the first report of avian influenza in the state. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks officials say the Aguirre falcon died of unexplained causes. Lab testing confirmed the bird had the H5N2 strain of bird flu. No human health issues have been reported with this particular strain. Our News Talk time now is 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy skies today with a chance of snow, rain, and graupel showers. High temperatures will top out in the upper 40s. A chance of showers tonight with decreasing clouds by sunrise. Lows will drop into the 20s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.